Most people still think Spotify is just a place to listen to music. Open the app, hit play, close it, done. That's the entire experience for 99% of users. They treat it like a utility, something in the background, something they barely think about beyond whether their favorite song is available. But what they don't realize is there's an entire layer behind that experience where attention is being directed, controlled, and monetized. Every time you open that app, decisions have already been made about what you'll see first, what gets recommended, what playlists appear on your home screen. None of that is random. All of it is engineered. And the people engineering it, they're not all working for Spotify. A lot of them aren't artists either. They're curators, regular people, operating quietly, building systems that redirect millions of streams every single day, and getting paid for it. Now, when I first heard that you can make money on Spotify without making music, I didn't believe it. It sounded like one of those ideas that works in theory. But in reality, you'd spend hours setting it up for almost nothing in return. But the deeper I went into it, the more obvious it became that this isn't some loophole. It's just how the platform works now. Because Spotify doesn't just run on songs, it runs on discovery. And discovery is driven by playlists. Think about it. When was the last time you searched for a specific song? Compared to just clicking on a playlist that matched your mood? Be honest with yourself here. Most listening sessions don't start with a specific track in mind. They start with a feeling, a moment, a context. Gym playlist, chill vibes, late night drive, focus music, songs to cry to, study beats. That's how people listen now. The song isn't the starting point anymore, the mood is. And the playlist is the vehicle that delivers those songs to the listener. And that shift is where the opportunity is. Years ago, radio stations decided what people heard. If your track didn't get played, it didn't exist. A small group of people controlled access to millions of listeners. A handful of program directors, a few DJs at major stations, a couple of label executives. That was the entire pipeline. Now that control has been fragmented. It's no longer just labels and radio stations, it's playlists, thousands of them, run by everyday people. And here's the key part most people miss. Artists are actively trying to get onto these playlists because it means streams, exposure, growth. A single placement on the right playlist can translate into thousands of new listeners. That's not theoretical. That's how careers are being built right now. So they're willing to pay for access. Not in a shady way, but in a structured way through platforms designed for this exact purpose. These platforms connect artists with playlist curators. The artist submits their song. You review it, you give feedback, and if it fits your playlist, you can feature it. And for doing that, you get paid. On average, you're looking at around $10 to $15 per submission. Now that doesn't sound crazy until you realize the scales, because once your playlist has an audience, submissions increase. And now you're not just making a few dollars here and there, you're running a system. Let me put this in perspective. If you're getting 10 submissions a day, that's $100 to $150 daily. That's $3,000 to $4,500 per month from one playlist. Now imagine 5 playlists, or 10, each one pulling in submissions on autopilot because artists are constantly releasing new music. This isn't a side hustle at that point, it's a business. And this is where AI changes everything. Because the biggest barrier used to be time, building playlists manually, finding songs, organizing everything, making it actually sound good. That used to take hours, sometimes days. It was real work, the kind that made the opportunity feel out of reach for most people. Now it takes minutes. Instead of doing everything manually, you use AI to generate playlists based on specific ideas. And this is where most people mess up. They think broad, generic, lazy. They say things like, make me a good playlist. That doesn't work. Because good isn't a category. It's not searchable, it's not specific. You need to think in terms of intent. What is someone doing when they search for this playlist? What are they feeling? What do they want it to sound like? That's where your edge is. So instead of vague prompts, you build something targeted. For example, a playlist for people driving at night. Not tired, but not fully awake either. Thinking too much. Slightly emotional, that's a real use case. That's something people actively search for. That's a playlist someone saves, follows, and returns to again and again. And within minutes, AI can generate a full playlist built around that concept. You now have something functional, but not yet competitive. Because content alone isn't enough. Presentation matters. If your playlist looks like it was thrown together in 10 seconds, people assume it was, and they scroll past it. This is one of the most underestimated parts of the entire model. People obsess over the songs and ignore the packaging, but the packaging is what gets the click in the first place. If nobody clicks, nobody listens. If nobody listens, nobody follows. So you fix that. Instead of default covers, you create something that actually stops attention. Think of your playlist like a YouTube thumbnail, same principle. It needs to stand out in a crowded feed. Use AI to generate an image that matches the mood, then refine it, add text, keep it clean. Make sure it's readable even at a small size. Because most people are browsing on mobile. That cover is going to be rendered at maybe 150 pixels. The text is tiny, it disappears. And here's something most people overlook. Human faces increase engagement. It's not opinion, it's psychology. Your brain is wired to notice faces instantly. You don't decide to notice a face, you just notice it. So if your playlist cover includes one, it's more likely to get clicked. Small detail, big difference. Now at this stage, you've built something solid, but it still doesn't matter. If nobody sees it, this is where most people fail. Not because the idea doesn't work, but because they stop too early. They upload a playlist, wait, see no results, and quit. But this isn't passive from day one. You need initial traction. Your first milestone is 1,000 followers because that's where things start to open up. Once you cross that threshold, the algorithm starts treating your playlist differently. Submission platforms start taking you more seriously, and momentum begins to compound. So how do you get there? First, your title needs to be searchable. Don't try to be creative, be clear. If someone types in a keyword, your playlist should have a chance of showing up. So instead of Midnight Reflections, you go with Late Night Drive Playlist, Sad Songs That Hit Hard, Chill R&B 2026. You can still be creative, just not at the expense of visibility. Nobody is typing Midnight Reflections into the search bar, but plenty of people are typing Late Night Drive. Second, use existing attention. Build playlists around things people already care about. Artists, shows, trends. For example, songs similar to popular artists. Playlists inspired by TV shows. Sounds that match a certain aesthetic. You're not reinventing demand, you're tapping into it. Third, distribution. Your audience already exists. They're just not on your playlist yet, so you go to them. Music communities, forums, groups, places where people are actively looking for new sounds. If you show up with something genuinely good and present it the right way, they'll listen, they'll follow, they'll share. And then there's content. Short-form video is one of the fastest ways to grow this because it's simple, repeatable, and aligns perfectly with music. You don't need complex editing, just formats that work. 5 songs you need to hear. Underrated tracks, songs that feel like this. Each one leads back to your playlist. The content becomes your top of funnel. The playlist becomes your conversion point. Someone sees a video, hears a track they like, clicks through, discovers the playlist, follows it. That entire flow can happen in under a minute. Now here's where it gets interesting, because once one playlist works, you duplicate the model. Different genres, different moods, different audiences. Each one becomes its own traffic source. And this is where most people underestimate the opportunity, because they think in terms of one playlist. Instead of a network changes everything. 5 playlists across different niches can generate more income, more stability, and more leverage than trying to scale a single playlist to a massive audience. Once you've built the system for one, duplicating it for another is mostly just execution. Now, if you want to speed things up, you can layer in paid promotion. Even a small daily budget can push your playlist in front of the right people. And the key here isn't just more traffic, it's targeted traffic. People who already listen to similar artists, similar genres, similar moods, which means higher follow rates. When the targeting matches the content, even small budgets can deliver real growth. Now step back for a second. Look at what you've built. You used AI to create a product, you positioned it correctly, you distributed it, and once it gains traction, it becomes monetizable. Artists start submitting music to you, you review it, you give feedback, you decide if it fits, and you get paid for that process. Not for being famous, not for being an artist, but for owning attention. That's the entire game. Attention is the asset. Whoever controls attention controls the transaction. And in this case, you're becoming one of those people. Quietly. Without needing a personal brand. Without putting your face anywhere. And that's the real takeaway here. You're not just making playlists, you're building small attention assets. That can generate income over time. And most people are still using Spotify like it's 2015. Just consuming, while a small group is building systems on top of it. That's the difference. If you made it this far, you already see the opportunity. The barrier to entry is low, the tools are accessible, and the model is proven. The only question is whether you actually use it. If you want more breakdowns like this, practical, actionable, and built for real execution, subscribe. And if you know someone who keeps saying they want to make money online but never takes action, send them this, because this isn't complicated, it just requires you to start.